What is going on out there, peeps? All right, today is the 28th. I know there's a lot of expectation on what was going on. I watched the markets like a hawk last night, waiting for some big something to happen. Like I said, I think it's going to happen over a period of time, the next 2 weeks anyways. And then after that, you're going to start to see some movement. But I was anticipating at least a nice little jump in today's silver price. And when I said a nice little, I didn't mean that little. When I'm small. So there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. We'll get into that here in just a moment. But a reminder then, you can look at it as silver and gold are still on sale. Yes, on sale. At the current rate, trust me, it's on sale. So when you go to buy gold and silver, go over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy. Pimpy, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. For those of you who keep asking me for my address, there it is. Write it down. You guys know I got this other platform over there, and I appreciate all the kind words on the video that is labeled Remember Who We Are. It's a moving video, to be quite honest with you, because I'm just tired of the negative media, and I decided to put something together that was a more positive, little mixed in with some negative stuff because I want to point something out to make a point, but nonetheless. Anyways, go over there and support our friends, Wall Street Silver. They both have a YouTube and a Reddit platform. The links for them are down below in the description. All right, so if we're looking at the current prices already, crypto started to run a little bit. Well, at least a handful of them. Ethereum did. That's for dang sure. It had a nice little jump today. Anyways, it was at, I don't know, 8% for the earlier today. Now it's at 7, still running. So I expected cryptos to kind of make a run. It's a little bit earlier than this. And then gold and silver, where are we at? Silver down about 16 cents and gold down $5. Anyways, so the Basel III is technically in effect. We were expecting to see some movement on the silver prices. Some people thought it was going to dramatically jump up today. I had a feeling that it was going to take a couple of weeks. We will see. I think there's a little bit of a lag time with all the work that they had to do to cover up a lot of these short contracts. But it's not just that, but I'm curious to see what it is that the bullion banks are going to do, if anything, to try to continue holding on to control of manipulating the market now that their tools have been taken away. Anyways, Bitcoin's up. It's around 34,500. Ethereum above $2,100. And Polkadot was the other one. So I've been keeping an eye on Ethereum and Polkadot. So I did pick up a little more Polkadot a couple days ago. And so if I'm going to get back into cryptocurrencies, it's just going to be Polkadot and Ethereum. Everybody else has the right to choose the ones you want. That's okay. Those are the two that I'm going to stick to. Now, if XRP opens up on the platform for Coinbase, then I probably will. But you have to be very careful about what platform you have your cryptocurrencies on. Now, in the past, I used to talk about one of these platforms that's the biggest. Okay, we're going to get into that. The world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange is running into trouble everywhere. They've been involved in some real shicey stuff. I used to talk about it back in the day. These are the kind of people that say, hey, people approach them and say, hey, I'd like to have my coin exchange on your platform. And you have to send them all kinds of white papers and everything else, explain what it did in detail. Then they turn around and turn you down and then replicate the coin themselves. So the people that are behind Binance, they're into some shady crap. All right. So it's not surprising. And again, these people are stationed in China, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing symbolizes cryptocurrency troubles with regulators as well as trivials of Binance. Yeah, the world's largest crypto exchange by volume. The past weekend alone, it ran into obstacles in Japan, the UK, Canada, and the province of Ontario. So yeah, they're always running into some type of problem. So be careful. If you have cryptocurrencies on Binance, let me suggest to you take them off now, because when they really put the clamps down on these people, and I have a feeling that's coming soon, not like they did with XRP, but I mean like a real close these people down. But just in case, you should remove your cryptocurrencies off that platform. So transfer them into another wallet, transfer them onto a nano ledger if you have one. Just get off that platform is what I would recommend. Just in case, just to be on the safe side. They're in trouble everywhere, and they've had a bad reputation for quite some time. All right. So again, I've listened to people like Chico Crypto report on Binance for months about all the criminality they've been involved with, allegedly. So again, I just want to warn you. And I told you that some of these things are starting to happen. And I say, look, one of those other things to keep an eye on is all of a sudden they start finding issues with exchanges and start closing them down. That's another excuse that the government will use. But again, Binance has been reported on now for quite a long time about some real shiesty stuff. So anyway, it said on Friday, Japanese Finance Services Agency issued Binance its second warning in 3 years that the company isn't registered to operate in Japan. So they're operating in a lot of countries without being registered to operate. They're doing it illegally. So again, if your tokens are on there, if you don't get them off, you could lose everything. On Saturday, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority banned Binance Market Limited, the British entry owned by the Canyon Islands-based Binance, for carrying out regulated activities in the country when it's not regulated. So if these countries are starting to put the real clamp down on Binance and just banning them altogether, that's going to make it really hard for people to get their cryptos off of if it's in the country, if you're in the country that is banned. So again, let me recommend that if you have them on, if you have your cryptos on Binance, move them onto another platform. That I'd highly recommend it. All right. And again, this is just another one of those things that I worry about, like the government using as an excuse to start closing down a lot of different exchanges to narrow down the amount of exchanges that are out there. Because I think there's something like 8,600 of them. And this continues to say, again, Binance is rallying today despite regulatory crackdown. No, they're really good at manipulating the markets out there. As a matter of fact, it was Binance and I believe it was Tether somehow are tied together. And between the two of them, there's been reports of them really just manipulating the market and doing pump and dumps. So if they're doing good after all the negative news, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that it's probably because there is a pump and dump going. Would be my guess, and I understand it's just a stable coin because people go, it's a stable coin. So usually what they do is they include a third coin and they run it between the three of them. So I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying be careful. And if I was you, I'd seriously think about removing your tokens off of Binance just to be on the safe side. So anyways, I went through here and just a shout out to Stefan and Money Metals because this article comes from Cliff Signer. Sorry, Cliff, if I messed up your name. But he said something interesting in the article that caught my attention. You see, this article came out today, 6/28/21. But the article goes, gold bugs are speculating about the impact of Basel III regulations set to take effect next month. It's today. European banks, minus those in all import London markets, will soon be subject to the... So it starts in Europe, but I think it goes into UK in the 1st of 2022. So unless I've missed this, and I looked to make sure there was no excuse for delays, I didn't see any reports of delays of when Basel III was to be implemented. So as far as I know, it is implemented today. We've been watching the markets. Nothing really happened so far. But again, I expected nothing to really jump off, but I did plan on it going up. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. But, Clinton says, gold bugs are speculating about the impact of Basel III regulations set to take effect this month. European banks, minus those in all important London markets, will soon be subject to the net stable funding requirements. The effect may be to reduce banks' activities in the paper metals market. Really what they're doing is removing their ability to manipulate the metals. Market watchers actually put together a fair summary of the regulations and its potential impact. The new rules seem to recognize the risk associated with holding derivatives versus holding the real thing. they will be required to hold extra reserves to offset any paper metals they have on the books. So is it possible? Don't be surprised if they don't do something like jump into Bitcoin and call it an asset and say, hey, and then continue to manipulate the gold and silver market. You heard it here first if they do that. That's just my guess. So anyways, nothing really exciting happened today in the precious metals world. Nothing crazy. I know a lot of people were expecting it. I was expecting some kind of activity, but it really wasn't anything at the moment. I say give it a couple weeks before it really takes off. There's some leg time there, so we will see what happens. But for the most part, again, we know what's going on with Basel III. Tangible bullions, however, is being classified as zero risk asset as long as it are hedged in an allocated form. So how they manipulate the markets is through unallocated. So don't give up yet, because some people are like, oh, what happened? I was like, man, I told you guys, give it a little time, give it a leg time. After 2 weeks, then I'll be going, what happened? Okay, but no, I think there's some issues being cleaned up at the moment. Definitely some contracts that are lingering. I'm sure they're trying to clear out the unallocated, because as long as it's there, they have to pay some huge fees. So we'll see what happens after a couple of weeks. So I'm not kicking the can down the road. I said this already, that you should start to see the price go up within a couple of weeks, but I expect it to take some bigger jumps after a couple of weeks. So that's it for now, you guys. Just hang tight. Just look at it as an opportunity to continue to stack. I know I am. That's for damn sure. When I do, I'll call money metals. That's it for now. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.